What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the late shift, man. I'm your brother Wise. I want to play this clip for you guys. It's pretty ridiculous. Radio show host Stephanie Miller kisses the feet of Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett. I got to ask this question, man. White liberals, what's wrong with y'all, man? Seriously. What is wrong with y'all?
Your sneakers. This is true. She's on camera saying she'll do the radio. I am. We're doing it. Future senator of the great state of Texas. I'm gonna miss Ted Cruz so much. He's so likable. Oh my.
Our electorate behind us, all parts of our electorate. We need the media, and we rarely have the media. So how this story gets told is going to be a really important piece right now. They're going to have to go up against all of Trump's media apparatus, right? Social media owned by his cronies, legacy media that always has a little bit of a skew bias towards both sidesism. Both sidesism always benefits Republicans. So if by 2 years, the story isn't still Democrats cave, Schumer cave, both on the one big beautiful bill and caved on a 40-day shutdown, then that's going to be a really hard thing to navigate.
Well, I got to ask you, because your name has been floated all over Washington, D.C., and I'm sure all over Texas as a potential U.S. Senate candidate. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I am considering it, is what I can tell you. I think that we're living in unprecedented times, and I think an unprecedented candidacy is what we need to do in Texas if we're going to do something different. And so I think when you're talking about how expensive these races are, starting with someone who is known and has a brand that doesn't take from anybody, I think being a fighter for the people is what people are looking for.
That is where we are at in politics, guys. Why is she going to run? Because she's known and she has a brand. Does she have any of the right ideas? Has she accomplished anything in her life? Much like Zamboni, has he ever done anything other than run and win? Can he accomplish anything? But he's got a brand, and it's a slick brand, and she's got a, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be for Florida secession. Like, there's just no way around it at this point. But if you want to see just the level of patheticness around the Democrats, I'm always looking for I always keep saying I'm looking for the lefties online, like who are the pundits online, not just the generic CNN people. There's this woman, Stephanie Miller. She's been a lefty progressive radio host for decades. I think I did her show way back when I was a lefty, probably over 10 years ago. This picture came out of her. She's kissing Jasmine Crockett's feet. Oh my God. But I'm told we're in a cult. We're the ones in a cult. Here's Trump on Crockett.
This Crockett, this is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police, they don't have military, they don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution, the whole thing is crazy.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. We'll start with you, Spaces. I'll give you the floor, kick this thing off. What's wrong with these white liberals for real? Kissing feet? That's what we doing now? Really?
When I see Jasmine, especially with that particular the clip where she started speaking on by herself when they zoomed in on her. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing, but the way her eyes are, it looks like she's it looks like she's kind of out of it. It looks like she's staring into space. I don't know how to phrase it, but I call her the crock pot to be sarcastic. When I listen to her speak, period, it's like I think about Stephen A. Smith and when he said, you don't go to work, your whole job is predicated on just being specifically in opposition to what it is that's being said. But yeah, you're not putting any particular legislation forward. You're not trying to say, all right, we're going to take this L and then move on to this. We're going to figure out how we can make these programs work. You're not doing anything. But if Quincy says she looks hot, yes, she does. But I just don't see her. I don't see what she really does or what she's done outside of her education and her not certificates, her diplomas. I guess maybe she has some sort of accomplishments outside of some low key or local accomplishments. But I don't understand why this person is, or maybe she was just, some new energy for the Democratic Party. But this, I just don't see why she's relevant, why she's even in conversation. She's not trying to do anything to push anything forward at all. She just goes and says Republicans are wrong, Trump is wrong, and all this stuff. And she never, like Mr. Wise said, she never has an actual debate with anybody. I've seen Byron Donald call her out. I invited you to a debate at least 2 or 3 times.
She wants no smoke with Byron Donalds. Are you kidding me? She wants no smoke with that brother.
Yep.
What? And I've noticed when she speaks, like you said, Mr. Wise, she only speaks in situations where she can just kind of like Dr. Umar, where she can just blabber until she gets tired of talking, or she has the possibility of controlling the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see.
Yeah. The word you were looking for, Quincy threw it out there, contrarian.
Contrarian.
She is a
yes.
contrarian to the Republican Party and to President Trump. Dion, I want to give you the next word on this.
At first, I'd have to say that I hate Trump even gives her so much airspace because she is so not worth it. I think something has entered in. I think that a lot of people in the Democrat Party, a lot of these more vocal, the younger ones, they have entered into some kind of covenant or something to the demonic world. I mean, because the level of lunacy is it's stunning. It really is. I don't know how anybody could think that Trump has control over the media. I mean, all the media does is prop up the Democrat Party. So I don't even know what in the world she was talking about. But yeah, as far as Jasmine Crockett, for Trump to keep calling her low IQ, she's not as dumb as she pretends to be, but she's part of a cult. So I mean,
No, I think she's playing I think she's a lot more intelligent than she lets off. I think she's playing a game. I think she's been. Celeste disagrees. I want to get Celeste in on this, but I think that she's been paid to act a certain way. Now, I'm not saying that she's some super high IQ individual either. I just think she's a politician that's been bought and paid for to come across a certain way. But Celeste may disagree. What are your thoughts, Celeste?
Yeah, I definitely think she is as dumb as she appears. And part of the reason I think that is because if I know what information you have, then if I know the input, then I can predict the outcome. And so if you look at the trajectory of how she was educated, then you can predict pretty much what she knows, because the likelihood is she does not know anything beyond her education. And Jasmine Crockett acts the way she does, and she governs the way she does with not putting forth any legislation or any particular policy initiatives, and is allowed to do that because her constituency, which is largely Black women, do not require that from her. They are satisfied with what she gives them, because what they want is representation. They want a Black face in a white space, and they want that Black space in the Black face in the white space to be contrarian and to be anti-Republican and anti-Trump. But I mean, that's what they are saying publicly, but secretly it's also anti-white. And that's what she does for them. And they don't require anything else, and they won't require anything else. And if they gerrymandered her seat so that she no longer has that, she's being forced to run for Senate. But if she runs for anything else, and it will be those people who will line up for her and will continue to line up for her. And even if she can't get a seat, they'll find some other way to support her, because she has done for them what they want. They want her to be a Black face in a white space where she is vocally angry. And I think that they use Trump as Republicans as a way to lash out against white people. One last thing, I think that's why that woman's kissing her sneakers. That's
crazy.
That activity of public self-flagellation, which looked absolutely crazy.
I cannot stand Jasmine Crockett, man. She's a preacher kid. Like, she's a PK. She acts like a PK. Like, she acts like she is all that. Y'all can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do. It makes sense for somebody to kiss her feet, because that shows that they need some type of acceptance. and they ain't getting it from the real ones. If for you to kiss anybody's feet, you gonna choose her
Okay.
feet, like for real, like
Out
anybody's
of all
feet.
feet.
Yeah. I'd rather her wash this woman's feet, like the Bible says, instead of. But I, to be honest, I don't really have too much nice things to say about Jasmine, so I gotta keep my mouth shut. Like she makes black women look bad, in my opinion.
Yes.
She really makes black women who work hard and who really want things to be the right way. She makes those black women look horrible. And then she got all that weave in her head and all that makeup on her face. Like she's trying to find this new identity and present a certain thing. It's like before I even knew who she was, I would see her on TV. I'm like, she looks uncomfortable. That big helmet of a head, hair on her head, and then she had all these big flowers and stuff all around her neck. I'm like, dude,
Big
she
ruffles.
dresses like she's going to convocation for the Apostolic Church. Like, she's doing too much. Like, she's doing way too much. And for somebody to be a child of a pastor, though, like Space said about everything that you are voting for and standing for is liberal, that does not line up to the word of God. So are you the fruit, as Crystal would say? There's no fruit in what this chick is doing. All I see her doing is being mad, saying that she hates Trump and cussing all over the place. And between her and Roland Martin, I'll be wanting to spit at my phone, bro. Like they both piss me off.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. They both be taking me off. Let me get off because I already ain't got nothing good to say about her.
Rolando.
I actually look up to liberal white women, to be honest, because they are really, really smart. They found a way, all right, to basically brainwash black women, okay, with the feminism and you know, all that, all right? So they turn around and they do that. And this is like every time, I told you, Wise, every time there's an issue that white women want to basically push, they run over and they play the oppression card with black women, okay? They try to do that with Latino women, but it didn't work, you know, because they pulled up to the door and the Latin woman came to the door and was like, ¿qué? And that was just pretty much it. We ain't even speaking the same language. So they couldn't get our women, you know, because there was a little barrier there. Thank God, you know. But they got black women and they got them hook, line, and sinker. All right. And this is what you're seeing, the Jasmine Crockett's and that kind of stuff all over the place, pushing this liberal agenda that comes straight from white women. Okay? It's all a scam. For example, DEI. And they say, oh, DEI is great. It's going to benefit all these black and brown people and it's going to be great. But yeah, DEI was what, 86% white women?
4% black people.
Yeah. I saw those numbers and I was like, wow, look who's benefiting. Not surprising, liberal white women. They are a plague on this country, you know, because they're just out of line. They're so progressive that everything should be free. Borders should be open. You should be able to come and go as you please. The economy don't matter. Housing don't matter. You know, emergency rooms filled up. None of that matters. And then they get people like Jasmine Crockett to go into the black and brown communities and push their agenda. You know, so this is what we got right now. So when you see people like this, you just got to dismiss them. Al Sharpton has been doing this for years. She's just another version of him.
Facts.
All these race grifters that come and go pushing the same woke crap. The leaders of the past, the Huey Newtons, the Malcolm X, the MLKs, Marcus Garvey, all these guys, there's nothing like that ever, from what I see, ever coming back anytime soon. We're just stuck with all these wannabes and grifters and, you know, Dr. Umars, and behind all of them, there's white liberals, you know, financially backing all this.
But that's been the thing for a long time, right? You can't find a organization that's quote unquote supposed to be for black folks or people of color that don't have some white liberals behind it, and their money involved. You really can't. Crystal, what are your thoughts?
Jasmine Crockett is a gutter bunny plant that has been placed in politics to placate to society's stereotypes, and white guilt exercises on her pride, and that is why that lady was kissing her feet. The government shutdown, we already know, was the Democrats' fault, so I don't even know why. Yep. But again, people don't do no research, so they listen to her foolishness. Texas better wake up, because she's talking about running for senator. If you want Texas to look like Palestine, y'all keep it up. But Republicans have never does not own media, so I don't know what they're talking about. That one lady just needs to sit down and be quiet. And again, when you understand that Jasmine Crockett works with that charlatan Frederick D. Haynes that calls himself a pastor, that all he talks about is social activism and not the gospel, we don't even need to entertain that. I love Josh, but there'll be no grace here, because the Lord said to call out the foolishness, and I'm calling out all of the foolishness. And she gets the gutter bunny stamp of approval, because she definitely is a gutter bunny. And lastly, let me see how many, because I had to look it up. She has put out a total of 35 bills, and none of them have passed. And that is to date of November 12th, 2025. So exactly what is your purpose? Because you can't even get a chance to say, at least she works with people and she gets stuff passed for the community. You can't even get that. So what is the point of having her there? She's a waste of time, and she's just there, honestly, to continue to push that stereotype about black women. So let her retire today.
Does Jasmine Crockett, will she get your vote as a senator in the state of Texas?
No, not at all. Nope. But let me just say this, and I know this is going to sound mean. It's not, but it's just a joke. But every time I see her, she reminds me, if anybody watches or has ever watched The Boondocks, she reminds me of Uncle Ruckus, just the girl version.
Oh,
but yeah, she's definitely a DEI. Jasmine Crockett getting her feet kissed by a white woman. Like, what are we doing? This isn't that is not leadership. That is straight up weird, man.
But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. The link's in the description box below. I appreciate the support, the love. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the darkness